Welkom bij B2B Marketing Forum, althans de online version. CMO Talks. Als je een vraag hebt, dan hashtag CMO Talks. En ik heb een kort gesprek nu met Kors van Wijngaarden van Philips en dan vooral de healthcare divisie.
Klopt.
Global Director Online Marketing en Strategie. Maar je hebt ook een switch gemaakt. Wat doe je nu?
Ik ben nu...
in Nederlands. We moeten naar het Engels. Sorry, it's live. That happens. We have to do it in English.
No problem.
Yeah. So you work for Philips, and what is your role?
I'm currently Director Marketing for our Imaging Systems business group, which is the largest business group within Philips Healthcare.
Okay. And today we are talking about stop your marketing and start engaging. That's the main message. Right. And you within Philips, you've been involved with social media and new types of marketing to get that engagement. What is your experience in that field?
Well, the last 2.5 years I was responsible for the digital marketing strategy of Philips Healthcare, which involved social media, mobile, all the online presence that we had. So I was responsible for putting that strategy in place.
Okay, and what was the kind of challenges to put it in place for Philips within your healthcare division?
Well, I think there's a lot of challenges. There's challenges which all companies have. We're all very excited by the possibilities of social media. I think most of us are at the stage that we want to use it, we want to engage our customers. The next question is, how do we do it? What do we do? So I think we were at that crossroads as well, translating a theory into a practice. Yeah. On top of that, we're Philips Healthcare, which is a highly regulated industry, so next to all the normal rules and regulations in terms of privacy and all sorts of other things, we have FDA regulations, so regulating bodies that restrict what we can and cannot do. Just added an extra level of complexity, something that a pharmaceutical company would perhaps also have to deal with.
Okay, before we dive into the complexity, who's your customer?
Our customer at Philips Healthcare is the healthcare professional, so it could be a doctor, could be other hospital professionals, but in the end it's also the patient.
Okay, so the patients and doctors, people within the hospital area, within healthcare, those are your customers?
Yes.
And what is the link between compliance and social media or social company kind of strategy? What is the relationship?
Well, I think in the end we have to comply to regulations in all our communications. So for example, if we communicate something about one of our products, it has to be something that we call on-label. We have to be registered to use that product in that way. And really exactly the same applies to social media. The difference between social media is that you have to let go. So with the other channels, you're in control and you can decide every piece of communication, how you restrict it or which bits you cut out. With social media, the general public, everybody else, your customers are free to add to that conversation, which is risky. I think that's...
What are the risks? I mean, if you look at the compliance or besides compliance?
Well, the risks could be that a customer or potential customer, for example, would say, I have used a Philips product for X, Y, or Z, and if we're not registered for X, Y, or Z, even though that product could legitimately be used for that, if we're not registered yet for that, it's a risk, and it's something that's a grey area. So even the FDA has not really been very clear about it, and our legal people.
So what can happen if they use a certain product but they're not registered? What is the effect of that?
Well, to be quite honest, we haven't had a problem in practice with it. So in theory, it's a problem, but you could get fined if you communicated about a product in a way that you're not allowed to. So, for example, making an off-label claim.
So how was the journey to think about compliance and to have that open field with engagement with their customers in the healthcare industry? What did you come across in that journey within? I think that's fascinating.
Well, I think that in the end, it can be very complicated, or it might be considered very simple. In the end, social media is just like any other channel. You're communicating with the outside world. Our legal people worry about it because it's new. You have to bring them back down to earth and say, look, the same rules apply. The only difference is that we have to let go, and we're not totally in control. If someone else says something that we have no control over, we have to do our utmost then to correct that. Live, you can't change that, and that would apply to another channel as well. If a doctor at a conference suddenly said something that was off-label, we couldn't stop him either. So really, it's the same thing.
Yeah. And you're here at the event. You're going to speak later on?
Yes, I'm going to give a talk about the business case that we as Philips Healthcare made, essentially using LinkedIn and other social media channels as a way to engage our customers. So really what I'm going to talk about is down to earth. It's exciting, but it's also down to earth. You know, we all know what we may want to do. We actually went ahead and did something for right or for wrong. Yeah. And it's more practical, roll up your sleeves. How did we...
So you roll up your sleeves, and what did you do with LinkedIn exactly?
What we did a couple of years ago, LinkedIn were on a fact-finding mission here in the Netherlands, and the reason they were in the Netherlands was because LinkedIn is the most successful country in terms of density, how many people are a member of LinkedIn compared to the total population.
Yeah.
So they wanted to know why that was, and their board were here, and as part of their journey they talked to us at Philips, and we decided to form a strategic partnership, and that's how we started our road with LinkedIn. And what we've done is we've formed a healthcare group on LinkedIn, and that is a place where we engage our customers. And it's a way for us to get customer insights. It's also a way for us to build relationships and to build our reputation.
Nice. If there's one piece of advice, if there's a CMO right now listening to your words and your experience, if there's one piece of advice you would like to give as a final thought, what would it be?
Well, I can give lots of advice, but if I have to choose one, if you're going to engage people online, if you're going to engage people in the social media arena, make sure you have something interesting to say. Say something that's meaningful to your customers. Don't just shout about your product. Say something that's meaningful to them.
I think that's a very meaningful statement. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.